we last spoke, we talked about the Stephen Moffat title sequence, that you were the guy who contacted him and said, Stephen, look at this. You probably should commission this guy. The title should look like... So these are little points in Doctor Who history, on screen and off screen, that you have been kind of integral parts of, sometimes putting yourself there and sometimes just happening to be there. You seem to be sort of woven throughout the history of the show. And so it's always amazed me that it's taken this long for somebody to sit down and to put together a proper, full interview with you on camera. But that is happening soon, isn't it? This is coming out in the new year. This is a picture from Keith Barnfather of the recording of your Mythmaker.
Anthony Weiner there with his back to the camera interviewing me in my music room with my Dalek behind me.
So, as much as, you and I know, we know that you don't like to talk about yourself. So, but to sit down and do this, I know that Anthony's a friend, and Anthony's recently joined us for some Type 40s too. He's a great guy. But to sit down and to recount all of this, and to know that this particular interview is going to fall into place with such an exhaustive library that Keith has recorded over the last 4 decades. Keith's an extraordinary man.
He put this picture on his Facebook page, and they piled in, how dare you interview Ian Levine. Mark Hares was so offensive that he ended up removing his own comment because he was embarrassed by how offensive he'd been, saying, this man is a pathological liar, don't listen to a word he says. And Gary Russell, of course, laid in thick to me, and all the trolls all came out, all saying, how dare you. But the point is, as they could see already, the whole thing, just merely mentioning it happened, was so controversial. It attracted more comments than ever before. Love me or hate me, they're going to watch it. To allow his page to be used for so much venom against me. They're all calling me a scammer and a liar and a fantasist. What Mark Hedge said was reprehensible. I replied to him, listen, I gave as good as he gave, because I replied to him, I didn't save the Daleks for you to go and desecrate it the way you did.
Well, I would offer that Mark must realise that he was in the wrong to have deleted his comments. That was inappropriate.
He put a thing up saying,
anybody can make a mistake, can't they?
He said, I realised I was wrong to say what I did. I'd rather just keep silent on it. I don't care what he thinks of me. He's not going to fucking criticise me in public. People who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
Because this is how Keith promotes his productions, isn't it? On his social medias to drum up publicity for them. Obviously, because he wants to make sales, and he wants the line to continue. There's nothing wrong in that at all. He's always done it with previous releases. Why shouldn't he with this one?
The trolls shout louder than the people that love me. They do. People that love me.
Do you think there are people out there who believe that just sitting down and talking to Ian Levine, that simply an official or semi-official interview with you is in itself rebarbative in some way?
Yeah. There's been love and hate throughout the years. The hate started when Kevin Davis phoned me up. He said, Ian, I'm making a program called The Shakedown. It's a Doctor Who spin-off. This is when the show was off the air.
Yeah.
Doctor Who spin-off, going to be like the Sontarans. Robert Holmes had given permission.
It was around 1993, 94, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, yes. Robert Holmes was dead, of course. I think his estate had given permission. He'd got legal permission to use the Sontarans. So Kevin says, we can't afford to make it. Will you put 10 grand in? I said, yes. I immediately put 10 grand in, right? We got Terence Dicks to write the script, right? Terence Dicks said, the only deal I'll do is if after a year I get all my rights back. You can't have it. You can only release it for 1 year. Then after that, it's mine. You can do it. I can keep it. And so he brought in Jason Haig-Ellery before Big Finish to buy me out. They gave me my 10 grand back, and Jason took over instead of me. And I walked off in a huff. Keith Barnfather heard about it, said, Ian, we're doing Downtown with the Brigadier, Sarah Jane, Victoria Waterfield, and the Yeti. I could really use that money. So I gave him 15 grand on certain conditions that I got to do the music myself. I got to do a first scene in Detsen Monastery because I felt it needed it. I had various conditions, but doing the music was the most important to me. And Christopher Barry directed it, and I was one of the 3 producers on it.
I bought them both on
because
VHS.
what I had done the shape, and when I had put the 10 grand in, I said I want to give Caroline Ford a role. I was very friendly with her at the time, so I want Caroline Ford to be one of the, not a Doctor Who character, but have a role. So they did. So she at least knew that I got that role, even though I wasn't involved. Talking about real people, people of real hatred, who are absolute scum, who actually, to say things like Ian Levine is scamming these people. You could go around and interview every person that's contributed to my videos and find out how happy they are. If they weren't happy, do you think they would keep contributing? Do you think they would keep putting money in? Granted, I put in 3/4 of the money myself, but they have chipped in and helped me. I wouldn't have 55 episodes now if they hadn't chipped in something. I'd like to mention a couple of the best ones. There's a guy called, wonderful guy called Craig Cameron in Scotland. He's fantastic, very supportive. A very unassuming, quiet guy called Steve Gent. They're just really nice guys. And my old friend Frank Elson, who used to interview me for Blues and Soul magazine about Northern Soul, he's a massive Doctor Who fan. He's put in a couple of decent amounts for me because he so loves what I'm doing. So these people are the decent people who I love. You know, look, it might sound naive and simple. I don't want these trolls in my life. I don't want to hear about them. I don't want to be exposed to them. Just leave me with the nice people who like what I'm doing and let me enjoy what I'm doing. I'm not a well person. I've had very poor health. I'm doing it because I want to do it. Just leave me alone. Just disappear. But they won't. They're like obsessive stalkers. They just keep bothering me. Why? Have you ever sat down for a picnic in an autumn day? You got some food out and the wasps start coming around. Have you ever done that?
Of course.
In August or September, the wasps, they won't leave you alone. Every time you swat, they come back all the time. These people are like wasps. I have no respect for them, no interest in their opinion, no desire to talk to them, no wish to correspond with them. I wish they'd just fuck off out of my life. I don't want them. I don't want them in my life. I don't want them commenting. I don't want Gallifrey Base having anything to do with my reconstructions because they banned me. So all I get is people slagging them off. Lots of people have tried to defend me and been blocked and had their comments removed for defending me. Just fuck off. Just leave me alone. Don't have a bloody thread about my AI things. They're nothing to do with you. Fuck off. Leave me alone to do what I'm doing. Just fuck off forever.
I noticed that some people didn't react very well to a recent video that was put out through your social medias, which I have to say I thought was very, very funny. Should we take a look at it now together?
John Garley did it. I didn't do it. As I said to John Garley, you know, John Garley did William Hartnell's voice for Our Planet of Giants. He's the best impersonator of William Hartnell there is. I just said to John Garley, just make me a video defending my, reconstructions. So he did this whole thing himself.
This is BBC One.
A most truly remarkable thing has happened, my friends. Yes, an inhabitant of 21st century Earth, Mr. Ian, now what was it? Levine, has been working tirelessly and most exhaustively to bring you the missing audio-visual documentation of some of my past adventures. Yes, this has been tried in the past, but you don't want to watch a ridiculous cartoon. Oh, you want to live my adventures as I did. Yes, and now with the help of the Earthman's vision, determination, and a little assistance from current Earth technology, you can visit the Singing Sands, or partake in a mission to the unknown. Discover what the Daleks' master plan is. Meet Sir Charles Preslan. And after that, we must defeat the Toymaker. Or what about a holiday at the Cornish coast? Join us, yes, and relive my most remarkable adventures in the same way that I experienced them. Yes, remarkable. Quite remarkable. Yes, so stop footling around and go to Facebook and have a look. Yes, a special thank you to Earthman Levine. Yes, you did quite well, my boy. Yes, quite well.
I made that video to take the piss out of the trolls because I knew it would drive them furious. I knew it would drive them insane. So that's why I did it, just to take the piss out of her.
Did it work?
I don't know. It's had a lot of views. The piece of shit in Arizona made a video using a picture of me breaking the TV screen that J&T made me do, and used AI to make my voice saying, I bitterly apologize for making these reconstructions. I'm going back to making cartoons. My friend Svi Lebek is no friend. He's a horrible bigot. He made me say all the things that Ian Levine would never say. So
Yeah,
that was that's my piss day back to him. This made him so pissed off. He spent a whole video analyzing it. Can you imagine? Spent a video looking and stopping and starting and pausing every shot, obsessed with it. The man's sick. The man's he's either bipolar or he's psychotic, one or the other. I've no sympathy. If he is mentally ill, he does not like that. Told him to fuck off and die. That got under his malignant, narcissistic skin. That got under his skin. I don't need people. I've had enough trouble in my life, enough shit, enough ill health. I don't need people like you making it worse. I don't want to talk about him. He's not worth it. He's not even worth my spit. He's not worth it.
So here we are in the last quarter of 2024. It's been a big year for you. As you say, you've managed to bring us back over half of the missing episodes in this brand new form. But your efforts are continuing, aren't they? So if people want...
In 6 months' time, I intend to have not only, if I can somehow manage to keep going, not when I finished the 97, I've got the lost stories, the 6 lost Colin Baker stories, Nightmare Fair, The Ultimate Evil, Yellow Fever, Mission to Magnus, The Hollows of Time, and Gallifrey, the proper 6. So I'll be doing all of those. I'll be doing the 4 Sylvester McCoy ones that are cancelled, Thin Ice, Crime of the Century, Animal, and Earth 8, those 4. I shall be doing Lost in the Dark Dimension, of course, the 8 Doctors, all the stuff we reconstructed. Cursed thingy, the Pescatons is on the plan. So all those on our plan to do. We're in the middle at the moment doing Planet of Giants. It was recorded as 4 episodes, only released as 3. They chopped them out. So for Ed Stradling in about 2010, we re-recorded with William Russell and Carol Ann Ford and John Garlow as a doctor. We re-recorded all the missing scenes that were cut out and used it with pretty sort of, it couldn't be perfect because we didn't have the equipment there. So now we're using AI to make all those scenes fit imperceptibly with the other scenes.
Another set of fresh challenges.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things I plan to do. I also need to phone up Peter Lytton, who I'm still in touch with. I was a script consultant in the late 90s on the film that they're going to make, a company called Greenlight. Peter Lytton and George Dugdale. They had got the rights of the BBC to make a Doctor Who movie, which was going to star Donald Sutherland.
I remember.
I think it's time now to record all the audio for that and to actually put it together with AI. Problem is, although I was a script consultant, I don't have a script.
You're thinking that they would still have one in full? I don't
know. Well, someone must have one somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find. Probably Peter Lytton got his fingers burnt, and then when they brought him back in 2005, he lost so much money from trying to get it off the ground. It's a bit of a sore subject. So if I ask him a Doctor Who favour, he might not be very keen. I'm going to try. And then the big secret, which I daren't publicly say. We're taking another famous BBC science fiction series with missing episodes and recreating those. I can't say any more than that because I will legally get in a lot of hot water if I did. We only do it privately, purely for private use, so it will never be commercially available. If you talk about life achievements, my ultimate goal next year, I'm planning it already, is to make the first ever definitive version of Alice in Wonderland. It's never been done, ever. Basically, Reverend Charles Dodson wrote the book under the name of Lewis Carroll, and many people have inferred over the years that he was a paedophile. He was lusting after this little girl, Alice Liddell, and she was the subject of his book. Now, in 1979 or around then, Verity Lambert made a film for a company, Cinema Verity, called Dream Child, with Ian Holm as Lewis Carroll, an amazing cast, Cole Brown as Alice Liddell, where the true story of the 80-year-old subject of the Alice books visited New York in the 1930s, the Art Deco period, when she was 80 years old, right? Dream Child is the story of her visiting America, being adulated because she's all these repressed memories of her childhood and being molested, I think. It's inferred in the film. But what you've got 3 scenarios in the film which flash back to the creatures in Alice. You've got the Mad Hatter and the March Hare and the Dormouse Tea Party. You've got the Griffin and the Mock Turtle, and you've got the caterpillar up on the mushroom, right? And they are so horrific. They're everything that Alice should have been. The Mad Hatter and the March Hare have got blackened and yellowed teeth that look sinister. Man, they look gruesome. That's how I think Alice should always ought to have been. A bit like Jonathan Miller did in the 60s, but that was all with people.
I've seen that one.
Michael Gough as the March Hare.
Yeah.
And Peter Sellers and all the wonderful cast, and Wilford Bramble, who was Steptoe, as the White Rabbit. That was brilliant. So I'm trying to fuse all those and the Dream Child aliens, which is my Jim Henson's Creature Shop. It's the best thing they ever did. Combined with the actual original drawings that John Tenniel did in the original book. If you look at the pictures of the Mock Turtle and all that stuff, I want to fuse his drawings authentically with what Jim Henson's Creature Shop did in Dream Child and produce word for word. Because every Alice in Wonderland film, even going back to Cary Grant in the 30s, everyone has used part of Alice through the Looking Glass with Tweedledum and Tweedledee. They've never stopped just Alice in Wonderland. So I want to get a great casting. Shirley Cooklin wants to play the Queen of Hearts. So you see, she's 94. I mean, I told her we have to do it because while she's here, I don't. Please God, she lives to 100, but you can't count on it, can you?
No.
But she already agreed she wants to be the Queen of Hearts. Anyway, the idea is, I'll offer part to Fraser Hines and to lots of Doctor Who actors I know, John Leeson and people. I want, I would like them to all have some parts in it. I want it to be faithful to the book. I want to make it faithful, dark, horrific, but not like stupid Tim Burton rubbish. I want it faithful to Alice in Wonderland, with the characters all looking like the drawings in the book. Is this something you've
always wanted to do?
I've never been able to do it. I always dreamed of it one day, always. I'm trying to film it live or something. But now we can just all sit around a big table, record the audio, and make it using AI brilliantly. Using AI to to bring to life John Tenniel drawings in 3D color. I don't want to do it full color. I want to do it half color, half sepia. So it's got that very yesterday Victorian look to it.
Yeah.
I want it to feel Victorian. I want, like they did in the Jonathan Miller one, I want these fuddy-duddy, stuffy old characters to behave like Victorian, proper gentlemen who would stand for no nonsense. The whole idea of the Duchess, speak roughly to your little boy and beat him when he sneezes. She's spanking the child and it turns into a pig. I mean, the whole thing's utterly outrageous. And I just think, you tell me when has it ever been done properly.
This sounds like a fascinating project.
The Disney one is all sugary, hold hands and skip through the meadows.
Yeah, you're a big Disney fan, so I assumed you'd like that, and you would.
No, because it's not. It's too whitewashed. It's not the darkness. Alice in Wonderland is dark. The Duchess is dark. She's been sentenced to death by the Queen. The Queen of Hearts is a monstrous tyrant, off with their heads. Just the brilliance of the book.
It does sound. It sounds like you've got lots lined up, lots going on.
We've already recorded. We've done it. We've done all the audio. It's finished.
Oh no, I didn't realise that. Okay.
Yeah, we've done it. We're already starting to reconstruct it.
Obviously, people out there may or may not be aware, you've got a significant social media presence with this on Facebook, with the AAI Doctor Who episodes. Can we remind them where they can find you over on Facebook to get involved, to contribute?
Let me explain. I have done 55 episodes, right? 48 of those are my main private Doctor Who AI contributors group. No one's allowed to enter that unless they contribute at least 50 quid. It's not fair to the people that have put money in. If someone's put 200 quid in, they don't want to see someone put 10 quid in. It's a mockery. And I wouldn't have even been like that. But the people that got into that, people paid 10 quid and got into the group and leaked them all like a sieve, leaked them everywhere. So I had to do something. So I had a purge. We had 350 members. I purged it down to 190. A lot of people got very upset that I removed them. Bit by bit, it's crept back up to 300 now, but I cannot allow, there's still a leaker in there. There were some really horrific people who really go out their way to do me harm. I just don't want them in my life. I want to ignore them, but why do they go out of their way to constantly cause misery for me? They've tried everything. They've had these sick groups on Facebook. Ian Levine is a scammer and a nut job. It's been removed. The Ian Levine Doctor Who group for the cult of Ian Levine, it's been removed because they've all tried to just use them to defame me. But we've been getting there slowly but surely. The greatest thing is that if the person in Phoenix gets another complaint, another strike, he'll be blocked from having a channel on YouTube, which he deserves to, because he had a channel about games called the Game Center. If he'd used it wisely to review games and stuff, no one would have bothered him. But instead, he's obsessively devoted his whole channel to making 11 videos about me.
About yourself and my friend Svila Betkin, the rabbi from another planet. Yeah, I've seen that too.
Just obsessive. The guy's mentally disturbed. I just don't want it. And he says he just went free in my head. I don't want him in my head. So I have 4 groups on Facebook. I have the main Ian Levine Doctor Who group with 6,100 members at the moment, as it was today, 6,100. We've got the contributors group, which has got 300 members. We've got 2 other groups. I'm not going to tell you the name because you won't find them on Facebook. The other 2 are my private groups, and only people I trust in them that they get. So the contributors and the 2 private groups get every single episode. They've got 48 at the moment. The free group, the Doctor Who, Ian Levine Doctor Who group, has got 25 of the 48. The point is that if I was being selfish, why would I give them any? Those 25 would cost over 30 grand. I've given them free. So the point is, if you want to see the episodes, you can see half of them free. Just go onto Facebook and type in Ian Levine's Doctor Who group. All you got to do is type that in your search. You'll find it. Just send a request for membership. Anyone that looks legitimate gets admitted. Only if you've just joined Facebook yesterday and you haven't got a picture on your profile. Of course, my administrators are going to be suspicious. If someone's been on Facebook for 5 years and got a picture, we let them all in. Of course, we let people in that turn into trolls. It's inevitable with 6,100 members. If you want to see them, I've given the group the whole of the Dalek Master Plan, all 9 episodes. Remember, the 12 episodes. I can't give them episodes 2, 5 and 10 because they're BBC. The BBC have got them on iPlayer. So I'm giving you the other 9. Watch it in order. You have to go on iPlayer to watch my episode 1. Go on iPlayer, watch their episode 2. Come back to mine and watch 3 and 4. Go back on iPlayer to watch their episode 5. Come back to mine, watch episode 6, 7, 8 and 9. Go back to theirs, watch episode 10. Come back to mine and watch 11 and 12. That's in the group that anyone can see. And also the whole of the massacre. And lots of them are in that group. But I'm not giving them everything. It's not fair to the people that have chipped in. Only that there's no reason for chipping in if everybody gets everything. Why would they chip in? People,
of course,
feel that they've got some kind of God-given right to watch what I paid for. But I'm willing to. I want to share them. I don't want to be selfish. But I can't do what people are leaking them onto Twitter and onto Gallifrey Base and everywhere, leaking them against my will and mocking them. They created an Ian Levine archive on YouTube and linked them all to that. And we had all, Andy Fairclough, bless him, had all that taken down. We have to, it may take a few weeks, but eventually we remove every single one. We've got to, I don't want the BBC coming after me say, at least my argument is we keep these videos private. You can't find them by searching for it. You can only find them with the link.
Yeah, you haven't broadly distributed them.
In my private groups, 3 of those groups are 100% private. One group is members only. The public can't see what's in the group. You have to join to remember. That's got the 6,100 people. And that's what I'm trying to keep as upbeat and positive as possible. Every time someone starts being critical, I don't care. It's not a forum for free speech. It's a forum for Doctor Who and Ian Levine people. So if you don't like it, if you start saying these recons are shit, you're going to get banned. Got no fucking chance of not being banned. So if you want to say nice things, fine. 6,100 is a lot of members.
It is a lot. You got a lot of members.
If the BBC ever did say cease and desist, sent me a lawyer's letter, then those lot of members will be urged to not buy any more BBC product. I'm telling you.
A lot of members, a lot of supporters, a lot of friends. They were very, very grateful for all your efforts, all this hard work and diligence.
But the BBC aren't, are they? And what's so sick is in 2011, I made Sharda, it cost 41 grand. And I loved it. It had all the correct scenes because, of course, when the BBC eventually made it with Charles Norton, he cut off the scenes out of it. So a lot of major stuff was missing. And I don't think the animation was as good as ours. And they changed all the sets to what he wanted. We did the sets. Derek Hanley and I put the sets together faithfully from the original set designs and got them spot on, absolutely perfection. So my Sharda was accurate. Anyway, the BBC one wasn't, but they used my Sharda as the idea to do it from, you know, animating the scenes that weren't filmed and that kind of stuff. So I spent my money. I did the prototype, and as usual, I got no mention, got written out of history, and they used theirs to the extent that when ITV did a news piece about the BBC remaking The Lost Story, they showed a clip from my version. Can you believe that? On the ITV news. That's the truth. Anyway,
yes, I can believe that.
Right, so here we are. Here we are again. Paul Vanessa, Richard Bignell, all these people, Mark Ayres, they can't stand that I'm actually making the episodes authentically. What's going to happen in 5 years' time? If I'm still here in 5 years, I can't guarantee that I will be with my current health. But in 5 years' time, Paul Vanessa or someone is going to start using the technology, remaking them, probably looking at mine for a guide of how to do it, and make their own version, never even say thanks to Ian Levine. As usual, I'll be left out and forgotten as the pariah that I've become. The BBC owe me so much for saving Doctor Who, and they treat me like a pariah. Paul Vanessa and that, as if I was something piece of shit they scraped off their shoe. They trod, or a piece of chewing gum, they trod on the pavement. So they pick their shoe up and they scrape it off their shoe. That's how they treat me. I don't deserve that. I deserve better than that. Especially as all the old fans like Richard Landon and Jeremy Bentham, the proper real old school fans, Simon Luckin, the people that watched the Hartnells and loved them. Nigel Robinson, particularly. Nigel was the editor of Target Books. Nigel says I brought his youth back to him. He loves them. These people that saw them originally love what I'm doing, think it's faithful to what they saw. They enjoy them. They collect every episode. People like Sam in Black, they're begging me for the actual original links because YouTube compresses them a bit. They want the original best quality links for that collection. So they want what I'm doing, but the BBC hate me and they treat me like a pariah because people like Russell Minton has really shit on me. Or they don't care how many things I've given them in the past. All those deleted scenes, Vengeance on Varos, Mark of the Rani, they haven't done fun. They haven't done fun to us yet. But that's all was all mine. Arc of Infinity, Kinder, Snake Dons, all these episodes where I got the one way or another, I got the original recordings, what we call 71 edits, where all the scenes, where the 35-minute episode gets cut 10 minutes out of it. Yeah. So I gave them all to them, all of them, free, never asked for anything in return. I'm asking a public plea. Just please leave me alone. Let me make the episodes. Don't bother me. Just stop getting your friends to slag them off. Just leave me alone. I will leave you alone. You leave me alone. I want to be left alone. Before I die, I want to make these episodes and enjoy them. Just leave me alone. Do whatever crappy cartoons you want to make, but just leave me alone.
Let's finish off with a few words from Jeremy Bentham, where we think we started the show talking about Jeremy. And this is something that he sent to you, wasn't it? And he said, "Dear Ian, it's a very fine testament. And the sentiments expressed are getting louder with more resonances coming back each and every week. Proof that when ambition is coupled with ingenuity, things thought impossible become possible." There are some tremendous tools.
It's extraordinary. He's a brilliant writer.
There are some tremendous tools coming into the creative visual art arenas these days, and they're being picked up and used by some highly talented people working anywhere from billion-dollar Hollywood studios to a kid's bedroom. I still don't believe BBC Studios has ever set out to create rubbish cartoons with their animated Doctor Who stories, but they have so many stakeholders answering to so many paymasters, and all confident in their voices that they know what the purchasing public wants,
Yeah.
that their ambition to do something wonderful often gets drowned out by all of this noise, and that focus gets shifted, muddied, and distorted. God, that's so bang on. Yours
So
are
bang on.
It is, yeah. This is a brilliant piece of writing.
Yeah, but I listen. I am still alive at the moment. I've got cancer. I don't know if this time it's going to get me. I've had cancer twice. I've had sepsis. I've had a stroke. I don't expect to live to a very old age. This cancer this time might, in a year's time, you might be lamenting me not being here. I hope not, but I want to see these through. I just want to explain to you how important it is to me in my lifetime to do it properly, because I don't believe the BBC's attitude towards reinventing it has done it properly. I really don't believe that. Doctor Who, William Hartnell and Patrick Troughton were a child of the 60s, the quintessence of the 60s. I want to see the episodes how they were in the 60s, and I've done so. This Web of Fear Part 3 fits seamlessly into 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. 10 Planet 4 fits seamlessly into 1, 2, and 3. These are bringing it back, making missing stories whole again. I don't want to see them reinvented. They not only reinvented the Firemaker and things like that, and Underwater Menace, but they had to re-cartoon the version that did exist. Abominable Summer is the worst. You can't watch their cartoon Part 1 and then the real Part 2 because they don't fit together. I just want them as they were. Fans of my age group deserve to see what they saw when they were. That's all I ask. Because if I don't do it now, when I'm dead, and when Jeremy Bentham and Richard Landon are dead, there'll only be your generation left, and nobody there who saw them that could get them right.
Yeah.
Notes, I didn't realize what I was doing in the 60s when I take the sound and made the notes and transcribed them. I didn't realize that 50 years later how important that would be, but I did it because I knew that we'd never see them again, and I loved them so much. They were so special to me that I wanted a visual record of them. So I did record them. Thank God I did, because now I can bring them back using the, thank God we got the sound. We're very lucky. Out of the Unknown and shows like that, there's no sound for half the episodes. Doomwatch and things, they're lost forever. Doomwatch was a 70s show, but there's no recording of the episodes that are missing. Doctor Who is so lucky to have the sound, and very lucky because Space Pirate 6 is by far the worst, but we actually managed to improve it.
Well, what you've achieved so far has been extraordinary. Watching it week by week by week, heaven knows where it'll be in the next few months.
Please, I'm asking everybody watching this, if you don't like the idea of AI, if you don't like the idea of recreating these, please don't watch them. We don't need people watching them and don't like them to criticize them. Just go away and watch something else. Just go away and watch Brand New Who or Modern Star Trek or something. Just leave these alone for the people they matter to. I'm not making them for you. I'm making them for Jeremy Bentham and Richard Landon and Nigel Robinson. That's what I'm making them for.
Jeremy.
I'm not making them. I'm not making them for any idiot in Arizona. They're not remotely for him.
Well, Jeremy, we've seen Jeremy and Richard, their words. They feel it. We know Nigel Robinson feels exactly the same way. Ian, thank you. Thank you again.
I can't see through these glasses. But
it's it's 6:05.
We've done a fair bit, haven't we? Yeah.
Ian, thanks for coming back. It's been a privilege, as always, to hear your experience making all of this happen over the last few months with the AAI and your snippets of Doctor Who history as well, and about your life. Always fascinating.
7 years old with J&T. Do you know, I never got one single photo with him. I can't believe that. I've got photos of him with my parents, but not me. Went to visit my parents in Miami and stayed there for a day. Him and Gary, I got wonderful photos of them with my parents. I never seem to take them. If anyone did, I got photos of me on stage at Longley with John Pertwee, Peter Davison, and everybody. Maybe one of you listeners out there took a photo of me with John Nathan Turner. If you have, I just would like to have it posterity. I paid an artist to do a painting about 1982, I think it was, actual proper painting in a gold frame, John's face in the middle, surrounded by his monsters, Cyberman, Mara.
I've seen that picture. You have that painting,
yeah, but I'm not sure where it is. Paul Zeus gave it to him. Paul Zeus. John didn't like his face. He got vain. He said, I want someone to repaint the face and leave the rest, just keep the rest, just repaint my face a bit to make me look younger. And so Paul Juice had it, but Paul Juice is dead now. And I think whoever's got Paul Juice possessions still got it. But I paid 1,500 quid to have that picture painting. I would love, as I paid for it, I would love to have it back because it was me that paid for it as a present for John. Anyway, look, we don't know what's around the future. I've got cancer. I'm doing the best I can, having whatever removed that I can. I want to live longer. But if I do or if I don't, I want to finish these Doctor Who recons. That is my dying wish. My greatest pleasure this week will be getting the finished part 1 of Mythmakers, because that was so important to me that the guy doing the master plan, I promised he could do it next. And the master plan with 9 episodes plus Mission of the Unknown took a hell of a long time, which is why Mythmakers should have been done 6 months ago and hasn't been, because he's been waiting in the queue till now. So now I get my Mythmakers. The Massacre is good, but it was done very early and therefore suffered by new technology creeping up behind it. Yeah. By the time the Massacre 4 is much better than Massacre 1. So I want to redo part 1 now. But the Mythmakers now, after all this time, we got as good as we can get. I don't think we get much better than... Look at Wheel in Space Part 2. I don't think we'll get much better than that. That, to me, looks like a real episode. So
technology moves so quickly. You may be eating those words sooner rather than later. But it's been a pleasure again.
Yeah, Dan, we're going to see them. We're going to see them with the right actors and the right costume, the right sets, as they were made in the 60s, not as some figment of Gary Russell's imagination. We're going to see them as they were, and that is worth living for.
I've been reconnecting with producer, writer, historian, and notoriously unstoppable, ungaggable, and uneditable Doctor Who fan Ian Levine for a further conversation here as we approach Doctor Who's 61st anniversary. Ian, do you celebrate Doctor Who Day on the 23rd of November, or is every day Doctor Who Day for you?
Every day is Doctor Who Day for me, because I've now got this wonderful 250 gigabyte memory stick in the back of my 65-inch TV. And all my episodes have been upscaled to HD. So, and it starts at An Earthly Child, and it runs all the way through to the end of Pertwee, uninterrupted. So when I go to bed, let's pick out last night as an example. I went to bed last night watching part 3 of The Smugglers, which is not finished yet. I wanted to watch the work we'd done, half of it done. So I started with part 3 of The Smugglers and left it on. So when part 3 new footage finished, the recon carried on part 4. Then all of the 10th planet, by which time I'd already fallen asleep. I managed to wake up again for a pee around the time of part 4. So I saw our recon of part 4 that we'd done on his recreation. And then I dozed off again. The cartoon version of Power of the Daleks played. And then the Highlanders. I woke up and on and off throughout the night. They run consecutively. So every single night, Doctor Who plays in my bedroom. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I can't sleep with the silence. I have to have noise on. So the sound of Doctor Who is what helps me sleep. Of course, the trolls will say, his Doctor Who recon send him to sleep. We can just hear them now. I can just anticipate what they're going to say. No, Ian, they give me enough pleasure to justify the sacrifice I made to do them.
Good for you. I don't know where we'd have been without you this year. There's a growing support for what you're doing. All the best.
I'll tell you one thing. Without me, you'd have at least 150 episodes less. That'll tell you. That's a fact.
I can't very much top that. All our best wishes, as always, Ian Levine.
Thank you. I love my fans and I hate the trolls.
And we'll see you in the comments section. Bye-bye.
Don't know about the 71, do I?
You cool bastard.